Hello grown-ups. Are you already starting to think about the summer holidays and how to keep the kids busy? Yeah, I thought you might. Today's podcast is brought to you by Kellogg's Football Camps, a brilliant solution for families looking to keep kids active, having fun and building confidence this summer. With camps for girls and boys aged 5 to 15, Kellogg's are offering over 39,000 free places at sessions hosted by over 70 pro football clubs across the UK. From Colchester to Cardiff, Glasgow to London. It's a great chance for kids to get out, to play football and make new friends over the summer break. To book a free place, just buy a promotional Kellogg's Football Camps pack and scan the QR code to choose a club near you. T's and C's apply, subject to availability. If you'd like to listen to Football for Kids without the adverts, please consider signing up to Patreon, where you can listen completely ad-free, get exclusive episodes, early releases, and you can link it to your Apple and Spotify accounts. And welcome to the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees, and welcome to yet another brand new episode. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a player from Portugal, a young man who was taking the football world by storm, who goes by the name of João Neves. Before we get into this episode on João Neves and take a trip to the beautiful land of Portugal, I have a shout out to do. It says, "Hi Darren, my name is Finn. I'm 7 and I'm from Dublin, Ireland, and I listen to your podcast every single week on my Yoto box. I would like to learn about the player John McGinn from Aston Villa. Can you let me know if you will talk about him? Thanks very much, from Finn." Well, Finn from Dublin and Ireland, who's 7 years old, who wants me to do an episode on John McGinn. First of all, a massive shout out to you. Thank you so much for being a listener of the Football for Kids podcast. And don't you worry, an episode on John McGinn is very much on my list. Right then, let's get this started, shall we? Let's head off to Portugal and let's discover the life and story in this 2-part episode on the wonderfully talented João Neves. Close your eyes just for a second. Imagine the warm sunshine on your face, the smell of the salty sea air drifting in from the coast, and the sound of seagulls calling overhead. Don't worry, these ones aren't going to nick your chips. That's where this story begins, in a beautiful town called Tavira in the south of Portugal. And a boy named João Neves was born on the 27th of September 2004. Just there, not in a massive city with roaring crowds, but in a calm, historic place where life moves at a steady pace. Now, João didn't just grow up in any house. Oh no, things were a little different for him. His dad is a bloke called Pedro. He was a police officer. That meant a few different things. That meant discipline, of course, structure, doing things properly without any shortcuts. If you said you'd do something, well, you better do it. That is the house where João Neves grew up. His mum, Sarah, was a PE teacher. So in this house, running, jumping, moving, learning your body, that wasn't just a hobby, that was a part of normal life. So imagine little João, not just kicking a ball around for fun, but growing up in a world where effort and doing something to the best of your ability was a part of everyday life. And here is the magic. While other kids might just play football, João watched it. He studied it. Even as a young boy, he wasn't just chasing the ball, he was thinking about it. Where would it go next? Why do players move in the way that they move? He would focus on the tiniest little details, like a little football detective, solving puzzles that nobody else could even work out. And that's, I guess, where it all began. Not with any fame, not with any big trophies or fancy kits, but with discipline, with curiosity, and a quiet little spark in the beautiful land of Portugal. Now, this is where things start to get a little serious. In 2011, and I know we fast forwarded a bit here, João Neves joined his first proper club. They went by the name of Casa Benfica, a local team linked to one of Portugal's biggest and most successful clubs, Benfica. And right here, something small but powerful began to shape the player who we know today. While other kids ran round with shirts untucked and socks around their ankles with the tiniest of shin pads, João Neves looked different. His shirt was always tucked in, neatly into his shorts. His socks were pulled up. His hair was tidy. He was presentable. This wasn't by accident at all. His dad, Pedro, who we already discovered was a police officer, was also a part of the coaching team. He demanded respect for the game, for the team, and for yourself. João didn't just follow these rules, he made them a part of who he is. Even today, at the very top level, he still walks onto the pitch looking like $1 million. And it doesn't take a lot. It's the sort of thing which you can do today, and it goes a very long way. Pull those socks up, tuck that shirt in, make sure your hair's presentable, because there's a saying in life and in football that if you look good, then you feel good. And if you feel good, then most of the time you play good as well. Anyway, back to the story. Now imagine this, you're 11 years old, your name's João Neves. You've grown up in your hometown, everything feels safe, familiar, and then suddenly everything changes. That's pretty much what happened to Neves at the age of 11. In the 2016 to 2017 season, he made a huge move to the main Benfica academy in a place called Seixal, on the outside of Lisbon. This wasn't just a new team, this was one of the most famous football academies in the world. It's got a reputation as the talent factory. It's the kind of place that looks for the very best young players in Portugal, the top tiny percentage of those who can potentially make it, the ones with something genuinely special. That is the sort of place that it is. And João Neves wasn't just there to make up the numbers. Oh, not a chance. He was seen as a gem. But here's the thing, talent alone doesn't survive in a place like that. Not a chance. Pressure does. Competition does. Every single day you're surrounded by brilliant players, all chasing the same dream. Faster, stronger, sharper, there are no hiding places and you've got to be at the top of your game at all times. This was a tough place to operate, and yet João handled it. Calm, composed, just like he'd been taught growing up in the beautiful land of Portugal where he lived. That discipline, that structure, that quiet focus, it travelled with him. As he moved through the age groups, the under-15s, the under-17s and the under-19s, something started to happen. He didn't just keep up, he seemed to skip ahead. By the age of 17, it was said that he was already playing for Benfica's under-23s in the 2021 season. And on the pitch, his position was changing too. At the start, he was pretty much a striker. Now he was moving deeper, into midfield, right into the heart of the game. He wasn't the tallest by any means, but actually, he made that his superpower, because that's what you've got to do. Low to the ground, quick to turn, hard to catch, that's what Neves was about. While bigger players tried to muscle through like they do, João Neves slipped past them, and even when football slowed down during the COVID-19 pandemic, he kept training, he kept putting the work in, and then a huge moment came. In December 2020, at just 16 years old, João Neves signed his first professional contract with Benfica, a giant in European football. He was no longer an academy player, this was very real now. But here's where João Neves starts doing something a bit different. At the Benfica Academy in Seixal, the game gets faster, it gets sharper, there's less time on the ball, and there's undoubtedly more pressure. Blink and the ball's gone. But João, he wasn't waiting for the game to happen, he was seeing it before it happened. Coaches at Benfica worked with him on something called scanning. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. It sounds simple, but it's like having a football supervision. Before the ball even reaches him, João is already checking his shoulder, quick little glances, left, right, behind, building a picture in his mind of everything around him. So, when the ball arrives, he already knows the answer. Where to pass, where to turn, where the danger is, where the space is as well. While others are reacting, João Neves is deciding, And this has been a key thing to his game since the very beginning. And that's why, even as a teenager, he could play under pressure like it was nothing. He never seemed to be fazed, the coaches said. Tight spaces, big opponents closing in, he'd just roll away, glide out, keep the ball moving, calm, clean and clever. And here's something that tells you everything you need to know about him. In a place full of young players trying to stand out, with their flashy boots and their big hairstyles, trying to be noticed, João Neves kept it simple. He was that same kid, with his shirt tucked in and his socks pulled up, and always looking presentable. Not to be different, but because that's who he is, that's who he was. He didn't need to shout for attention, his football did it for him. And behind the scenes there was another quiet strength: school, education and his learning. While chasing the dream of becoming a footballer, he knew what was important. João stayed committed to his studies too, something which was encouraged strongly by his parents, and something which is extremely important. Because this wasn't just about becoming a top player, it was about becoming a person who could handle whatever would come next. Piece by piece, training session by training session, decision by decision. João Neves wasn't just keeping up anymore, he was standing out for all of the right reasons. Now, this is where people outside of Portugal start to sit up, open their eyes wide, and they can't take their eyes or their ears off of him. In the 2021-22 season, João Neves wasn't just learning anymore, he was competing against some of the very best young players in Europe in the UEFA Youth League. And it wasn't easy. Benfica's under-19 team had to battle through a tough group, playing teams like Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Dynamo Kiev. Big clubs with big reputations, and the pressure went with it. But João didn't shrink, instead he grew. In those matches, he wasn't just running around trying to keep up, he was controlling the game, slowing it down when it needed calm, speeding it up when it needed energy. Like a conductor conducting an orchestra, making sure everything moved at the perfect time. And then came a final, Benfica versus Red Bull Salzburg. A huge moment, a massive stage, and Benfica didn't just win, they smashed it. 6-0 to the team from Portugal. That result was so big that it echoed across Europe. And right there in the midfield was João Neves, playing his part. Calm, clever, always reliable and always available, always thinking one step ahead. But the story most definitely doesn't stop there. Just a few months later, in August 2022, Benfica travelled to Uruguay to play in the Under-20 Intercontinental Cup against a team called Peñarol. Different continent, a different atmosphere, a rowdy atmosphere with some proper noise. The kind of game where you find out if a young player is really ready, like genuinely ready. João played the full match. 90 minutes his legs put the work in. And Benfica, they won 1-0. No fuss or panic, just control from the very start. And moments like that, far from home, under pressure, in front of a loud, passionate crowd, they tell the coaches everything which they need to know. Because it's one thing shining in training, it's another to deliver when it really matters. And that told the coaches that this kid isn't just one for the future, he's ready. And I think that's a good place to leave part 1 in this 2-part story on Portugal's finest, João Neves. Join me next time as we discover the rest of the journey, the rest of the story, all the way up to the current day. And remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about the Football for Kids podcast. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time. Oh, and remember, you can listen to Football for Kids completely ad-free. Sign up on Patreon and you can link it to your Apple Podcast or Spotify player with ease.